Alex is one of the key developers of the tool and has been working enormously hard on this over the past year or so. Alex is an independent consultant based in the United Kingdom at the moment. He's a maternal, infant and young child feeding specialist in development and emergency settings. So you're as likely to find him in Yemen or Ethiopia or Poland, or Bangladesh, the Philippines, all sorts of places that most of us try and get away from. He has extensive expertise in infant and young child feeding policies and practices, particularly in emergencies, and on the WHO International Code and other global tools. He's previously worked with UNICEF and WHO in various ways. I'll hand over now to Alex and he can take you through using the tool online. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, and I'm really delighted to be here today. I am trying to share my screen and I think I'm getting there. Okay. Julie and colleagues, before starting, I really would like to acknowledge the team that has been instrumental to date, as of last night, literally, in their time zone. The team composed by Renee Raya, I hope Renee is on the call, as well as Roseanne Batugas. They are both in the Philippines and they've done a fantastic job during the whole development and conceptualization of the tool, and Renee has really spearheaded and led the development of the prediction model. Now, let's go to the tool. It's just a walkthrough. Julie gave already some insights on the assumptions and some of the variables that you're going to see reflected in the tool. So again, it's just a brief walkthrough, and I hope this will be sufficient to trigger your interest and excitement to go and download the tool, start using it, and then reach out for questions and clarification. And again, dissemination. So this is the landing page of the tool. Just a very brief, just to scroll down, you will see some of the key messages that were highlighted by Julie and some of the other presenters. You have a very simple set of instructions. One of the main goals of the development, during the development, has really been to develop a very user-friendly, intuitive tool. And the second has been to develop the tool on a very common, or let's say generally quite popular platform like Excel. So you have the basic instructions, and then you have some of the key materials that can be reviewed online, as well as printed and saved in PDF format, like the advocacy piece, the variables, the definition of all the variables used, the sources of data, and some of the explanation on how some of the data are calculated, some of the key references, and as well as the acknowledgements. From the landing page, you can then go to your main menu. And the tool is basically providing two major options: the possibility to calculate or to estimate, as Julie mentioned earlier, the volume and value of breast milk at the country level, as I said, as well as the option, even a very exciting option for individual moms and group of moms to estimate their own volume and their own and the value of what they've been producing. So I will just walk you through on both of these options. Let's start from the country calculator. So you have the possibility to select the country of interest, most likely your country or other countries that you may be interested. And you can, let's say, in the name of my colleagues that have joined the team, let's look at the Philippines. When you select the Philippines, you will enter in a simple a country profile page that will basically give you the very basic information available and preloaded in the tool. So number of live births, as you can see, the source of information, in this case mix, the data of the source of information 2017, and currency exchange vis-a-vis the dollar, the most recent currency exchange that we were able to preload. And on the right side, you have all the breastfeeding data. And this is any breastfeeding. It's not exclusive. It's basically any breastfeeding at a certain month. And as Julie explained, we are looking at 3 years of age, so at 36 months. So assuming you are in this page, you have several options. The easiest of the options is that you trust or you want to use the information already preloaded and available. And if you do so, meaning without changing or without wanting to change any of this information, you just have to go to the production and value page. That will automatically bring you to the calculations.
Not interested. Hold on.
To the calculations that Julie already presented for some of the countries. So in these calculations, you have the volume, the value, and the value in the local currency of breast milk produced. The same will be available, sorry, okay. The same is available for the total period of 3 years, or is broken down by age groups, under 6 months, 24 months, and so on. So this is, let's call it the easier route. And again, going back to the main page, the profile of the country is the easier route, mostly when, as you can see, you have basically all the basic information. The full data set is available for breastfeeding, as well as the live births and the exchange rate. Let's go to another scenario. Let's say the Philippines has released another set of data, maybe in 2022, 2023, and you want to update either the breastfeeding rates or you want to update other parameters like live births. So the tool can give you the opportunity to go to the data entry, and you can basically customize any of the parameters that you can see in this page. So again, if a new data set is available, or you want to use a data set that you feel it's more trustworthy from your end, or you have more confidence than what we have been using, then again, you just need to enter the breastfeeding rates, if that's the data you want to update, as well, or you can change any of these parameters, as I said, like births, currency exchange. I am not gonna do it now just for the interest of time, but again, I would suggest you do try to do it. And what is very important, again, just from an instruction point of view, every time you update either the breastfeeding or other basic parameters, just remember to save and then to go back to the your country profile and then to go to your production page. This is more or less the process. Now, let's go back again to the main menu, and let's go to a country that may not have all the information, and I believe we can go to, I guess, Australia, again, just, or sorry, maybe I want to let's get a European country. Maybe I can get Italy, just in the name of my fellows. So one of the information that Julia's shared is that we have been trying to use all the available national data when these are available. But as you know, in general, the big challenges has been with high-income countries. So in Europe or in the US or in the Pacific or in Australia in particular, New Zealand and so on, Canada. So this has been one of the biggest challenge. So you may have situations like in my country, like in Italy, where we don't have the full set of data. So again, what are the options for the user? The options remains the same, but there is some additional facility. One, you can decide just to estimate the value or volume and value of the produced breast milk by using the data points available. So in this case, just the 3 that you can see here. So I can just go to the production and you will see that the value and volume has been calculated for the 3 months that are available in the data set. But what Julia has already mentioned to you, we have developed a prediction model using a cubic regression model that has been identified as the best fit for the situation, wherein we are giving you the possibility to fill the gaps, no? And using this regression model. So basically, you can decide to complete the data set using the regression model that is nowhere perfect. And again, I want to emphasize this is not a tool that should be used to compute breastfeeding data, but this was just, let's say, a fallback position when the as in several countries, I don't want to say many, but several countries, the data may not be available, the breastfeeding data. So in this case, the prediction model that has been developed and tested for the past 6 to 8 months actually will help you fill those gaps if you want to. And then again, as I said earlier, you can just, once you have completed when the prediction has been made, you can then, as I've been doing earlier, you can just look at the values of the calculated values. So you can see that when you use the prediction, and I didn't show it earlier because I didn't do it, but or when you enter your own data, the tool will also generate side by side the data calculated using the prediction or your own data on the left, and on the right will keep the data, will show you the data calculated using the available information without any changes. I hope I'm clear. This will also give you an idea of potential differences. So for example, if I was using my own data for the Philippines, and this will help me compare the volume and values calculated using my own data for the Philippines and the full data set of the existing data set for the country of interest. So these are basically the 3 options that we have when working with country level information. So just to reiterate, you may use the data that are available, that are preloaded, that you may have, that will show on the screen. You may decide to enter your own data, just entering in this template and customizing it, or in case the data set preloaded is not complete, you may decide to complete it using the prediction model. So these are the 3 key options that will help you calculate, as we keep saying, both volume and value for a country of interest. Let me go quickly on the menu for individual, and this is again for moms or group of moms that wants to estimate their contribution in terms of how much they are able to produce, the volume of what they've been doing in terms of breastfeeding, as well as the value, the monetary value in this case, for what they've been producing. The selection of the country is mainly related to the currency that we are going to use for the calculation. So I'm verifying to keep El Salvador. So it's a much simpler module in this case. What the mom has to do is basically to say yes for the months where she has been breastfeeding her child. So if she breastfed her child for the full 36 months, she will put yes or Y for all the period. If she only has done it for a lower number of months, she just have to say yes to where when she has been able to breastfeed. And as you can see, automatically she will see on the right the volume in liters as well as the value in dollars of her breastfeeding efforts, right? So this can be saved and printed if the mom wants to keep a record of that. And maybe a limitation. This is only for one child at a time. And if you want to enter a new child, just you need to reset and restart. So again, this is very simple, but remember, you always need to save what you've been doing, or at least print it in a PDF and put it on your desktop or wherever you want. Because if not, once you move to the main menu, the information will be basically deleted. So these are the two major options available from the tool. And again, I hope you will enjoy. And just very briefly, if you allow me, I wanted to open the pages below. Most likely, this is something that can be of interest. So you see you have a detailed explanation of the various variables, their definition based on months of work with Julie, Renee, and Roseanne, and the other member of the team, Roger and Tuan. The formula, if ever a formula is being used, a bit more explanation, and also, sorry, the web link for some of these in terms of where they're being resourced. Sorry to just pick down. Just a second, okay. The web link and some notes in case, again, there are additional resources. So I think this is a very important page for those that want really to go to the, to want to unpack a bit the logic and the assumptions behind the tool. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you, Julie, for, Julie is the inventor, I would say. Me, Renee, and Roseanne have been just supporting her in translating more than 20 years of advocacy into a practical, hopefully user-friendly and exciting tool. Thank you again. Over to you, Julie.
Thank you so much, Alex. And please leave the tool there just for one more minute and show people the little addition of the advocacy page that we have there, because this will allow you to print out a brief, an advocacy brief to the minister that you're going to visit. And this has been done by Alex and team in very short time. I can't speak more highly. I mean, the work that the team has done on this has just been fantabulous, and that's not a word. So it's just fantastic. You can print this out very easily. I did it this morning to give to a journalist, a very quick kit to explain the data, and a printout, as you saw from Alex's presentation, of the results for your country. So it goes together as a beautiful little package with the print function there all ready to go. So well done, Alex and team. Thank you so much for the work that you've done in this area over the last 1 to 2 years almost, and especially circumstances of the work that you do makes it often very difficult, and it's been an immense effort. Okay, thank you, Alex. And now over to some of the people who have tested the tool.